Hey everybody, welcome back to Astronaut Lounge. I'm Poppa Stonks, and today we have Speakeasy Ltd. Speakeasy is an NFT project that offers passive income to its holders through. We'll get into that later. Actually, let me just let Kirk take it off from here. Kirk, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your history in space and how you started this project.
Absolutely. First off, really happy to be here. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I can definitely give a little history before we get into the project itself. I've been in crypto as a whole for about 5 years and started out just probably like most people in here, just kind of trying to learn about the space and getting like a Coinbase wallet and buying some tokens and figuring things out. And then as I moved forward, I heard about this thing called DeFi and I got real interested in that. And it seemed to make a lot of sense to me and it was exciting. And I got myself involved in several different projects as an investor and lost a bunch of money. Like most do when we first get started, got rugged several times, all the things that normally happen as you get involved in this space. But I was also very fortunate that one of the first projects that I found in DeFi on Binance Smart Chain is a project called EMP.money, EMP Money, and which was a seniorage protocol. And if you're not familiar, it's basically an entire ecosystem, not just one contract, not just an ROI contract. It's a whole ecosystem. And so that really made sense to me. And that became my primary focus for a while. I was my main investment in DeFi. And then I started to listen to their AMAs. They had them back then. They had them every day. Now they just do it twice a week. But I started participating in the AMAs and listening to those. Then I got up enough nerve to start asking some questions and slowly started to form a friendship with AJ Brockman, who's the team lead over there. And that sort of got my feet wet in DeFi. And I decided on a whim, I had never done anything like this before, but because of my experience in the real world, I decided to start a YouTube channel because I thought that DeFi, it took me a while to figure everything out, and particularly in a project like EMP, which uses LP, and I didn't know coming in what an LP pair was. I didn't know any of those kinds of things. So I started making just these little tutorial videos about the EMP protocol. And, from a newbie's perspective, how to do it, how to go on PancakeSwap and just basic things like that. And it became very popular within that community for a while. And I expanded it out then and started doing some weekly news programs that were like 5 minutes in length and covering the DeFi space in general, usually focused on EMP, but also, other things that were going on in the DeFi space. And all during this time, I started to get to know AJ over at EMP. And finally, he asked me, they wanted to do a learning academy. And he had seen my videos and asked me if I would be interested in doing something like that. And I said yes. So I built an entire learning management system for EMP and then started running it. And also, any of you that are involved in EMP that have gone through the EMP Academy, my voice might sound familiar because there's about 2 or 3 hours worth of video in that learning academy of me explaining DeFi in general as well as EMP. So I really cut my teeth working from the ground up with EMP, and I'm still very much involved with them to this day. And so that's kind of where I learned a lot about the back end, so to speak, or the business side of running a protocol. Last summer, while I was doing all of this, I was still investing in various projects, and I came across a project called Frost Flakes, which was sort of a half miner, half ROI contract, but it had some interesting mechanics that I really thought were interesting to watch. And that was specifically what Jack T, who is the developer, was doing, was taking half of the proceeds that was coming into the contract and investing them. In that case of Frostflakes, it was investing them in PCS farms and some bots and things like that in order to generate revenues to come back into the protocol to pay rewards and keep the contract alive as long as possible. And I thought that was pretty cool. And so I invested in it, and I started talking with Jack. And initially, when I was talking with Jack, I was actually trying to get him to invest some of his treasury funds into EMP because I thought it would be a really good revenue generator for the Frostflakes platform. And so that's how we sort of struck up a friendship there. And over time, the Frostflakes finally was spun down. And when it was coming to an end, I reached it back out to Jack and I said, I know we never did the EMP thing, but I really think that there's merit in the ideas that I were bringing to you, and I've further matured them. So I laid out the pitch to him, and I said, would you be interested in working with me in developing a contract like this? And he said yes. So we started working on the contract late last year, and ended up doing a bunch of things in pre-sale early this year, and then the platform itself went live at the beginning of March. So now we're about 2 months old in terms of actually being live, and everything's been running really great so far. So that's kind of how I got from there to here.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, you took all that experience, you took your history with EMP and the other project, Frostflakes, and so you created your own. Is there any other team with you? How many people do you have on your team?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I'm basically the team lead on it and basically run the project. Jack is all things technical. And then we have a social media manager. So it's a very small team, just the three of us.
Okay. And, being a small team, kind of keeps the overhead down. And, there's not a lot, there's not a lot as far as there's no token or anything like that to go with this. So, why don't you explain a little bit about, about the project itself, how it works, and, I might cut in here and there and ask some questions. But I'll try to let you get through as much of the presentation as
Yeah,
possible.
absolutely. That would be great. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen with y'all, and I have a little pitch deck that I go through. Feel free, like you were saying, to interrupt me anytime, but I'll just run through these 6 or 7 slides and share with everybody how this works. So let's first take a look at the overall protocol from 36,000 feet, let's say. And what you'll see here, the first thing that you want to know, which you alluded to a second ago, is that we do not have a native token. We run the entire contract on BNB, so it's BNB in and it's BNB back out again. Why would we do that? Well, one of the key things that I wanted to do was to not rely on a native token, because that, as you rightly suggested, that creates a lot more work, and it also creates issues for the protocol that I just didn't think were necessary. And I wanted to have a native token that we were working with that had inherent value, right? So that when you get rewards, you're getting them in BNB. You know what that is. You know what it's worth. You're not scrambling to go swap your whatever the native token is for something you know will be around tomorrow, right? So that was really important to me that we do that. And that actually was a carryover from Frostflakes that I liked. They were BNB in and out as well. So the way that the protocol works, again, it takes the basic ideas of the Frostflakes contract and really expands upon them. But the basic idea is the same in that you deposit BNB into the contract. 50% of it is locked permanently in what we call the pot, which is the primary wallet. And that is completely earmarked to pay back rewards to our members. The other half goes into a second wallet, which we call the bank. And that bank wallet then is investing primarily in 2 protocols, mostly in EMP. for obvious reasons. That's the protocol I know and work well with, and it's been very successful. We've also created a pretty strong secondary position in elephant money, and then we're branching out and doing very small investments in other protocols now as well. So that is one of two ways that we generate external revenues to come back into the pot to pay rewards. So we're earning on these investments, but then we also sell NFTs within the protocol. And the way that our NFTs work, again, because we don't have a native token, right? For those of you who are familiar with some NFT projects and such, usually a lot of times you'll buy the NFT and then it's going to reflect token back to you over time. So, and then the deal is, well, you're putting an investment in, and then hopefully the project lasts long enough that you actually earn more than you put in through the distribution of their native token. Well, since we don't have a native token, what we're doing instead, the utility of these NFTs is actually giving you a higher daily APR, so a higher boost. And that equals time, which is really the most important thing, in my opinion, in any kind of contract like this. So the higher your daily APR, the faster you get to ROI and beyond, right? So you can basically buy up your rate, so to speak, by holding one or more of our NFTs. So the way that it works, and for the protocol, that's the second revenue generating stream, because since we're not paying out token on those NFTs, we're paying out rate, then the money that we take in from the sale of those NFTs is quote unquote 100% profit to the protocol that we can then turn around and invest and earn even more rewards to give back to the members. So the way the NFTs work is really pretty straightforward. It takes a little bit of time to explain it, but it's not too overly complicated. The first thing that you need to know is you don't have to have one of our NFTs to participate in our contract. You can just deposit BNB directly in, and then you're what we call a guest. And so if you don't have any NFTs, you can put BNB in and you'll earn a rate of 0.25% daily. We don't have anybody who has actually done that. Everybody that is currently in the contract has at least one rate boosting NFT, but that option is there. Then the first level of NFTs that we have are what we call membership NFTs, or membership key cards. There are two different ones. There's a silver one and a gold one. One's not better than the other. They do the same thing. They just cost a different price and they give a different boost. So the silver membership key card costs 0.25 BNB, and it gives another 0.25 boost on top of the base 2.5 for guests, totaling 0.5 daily. So you've doubled your rate by holding this NFT. The gold one does the same thing. It just costs a little more. It costs 0.75 BNB, but it boosts you from 2.5 all the way up to 0.7, or not 2.5, 0.25, all the way up to 0.75. So they both do the same thing. Just one's a little less expensive, but you get a smaller boost, and the gold one is a little more, and you get a bigger boost. Then, so you can stop right there. You can just say, okay, I'm going to take my 0.5 a day or my 0.75 a day and earn off of that. You can stop right there. Or you can go one more level. And that's what we call our cocktail NFTs. There's a set of cocktails for each membership type. So the silver membership has the 6 that you see here, and they functionally do the same thing. They continue to boost your rate even further. So in the case of the silver cocktails, they go from the gin and tonic, which is another 0.25. So you'd be total at 0.75, all the way up to the old fashioned, which is a full 1% boost. So depending on which cocktail you pick, you can only have one. You can't stack them. You can get between 0.75 and 1.5 per day APR. That is our max, 1.5. If you get through buying various NFTs and other things that we offer, you go above 1.5, it doesn't count. It just caps at 1.5. So once you get there, you've done all that you need to do. On the gold side, same thing. It's just 4 cocktails instead of 6. And the max that you can reach is a little less at 1.4. These don't mix and match. Like I said, the gold cocktails don't work with a silver membership and vice versa. They're just 2 tracks that they that you run down. So you decide which is the best value for the money, and that's based on you can mint these membership key cards from the protocol anytime you want, live on the web. But the cocktail NFTs have all been minted. That is all passed. So the only way to get one of these is on the secondary market, buying the NFT from someone else who already holds them. And I'll show you that in a little bit, but that's how you purchase these. So what you do is go and look at NF Trade, which is our partner, our NFT marketplace partner, and you kind of do the math and play a little game and figure out, okay, what's the cheapest I can spend in BNB to get the biggest boost possible. Like, for instance, right now, given I looked right before we came on, the best bang for the buck is a gold membership key card with the Mojito cocktail in the gold series. That would get you a 1.4% daily and the total cost would be 1.4 BNB. So you do that, and once you hold those, whatever NFTs you want, you hold those in your wallet, you deposit, and you immediately start earning. So the protocol, as I mentioned in the slide earlier, is taking half of those funds and investing them. And this isn't hypothetical. We've been doing this now actually for about 3 months, because we started pre-sales of NFTs about a month before we launched. And we've done very well, even in this market, in our investments. And so I'll take you through just a quick snapshot of what we have going on currently. This screenshot is about 2 days old, but the numbers are pretty close to similar right now. The primary investment that we have is in EMP, and the primary investment in EMP that we have is in one of their farms. So if you're not familiar with farms, you deposit a token. In this case, it's completely unlocked. So we have about $150,000 in US dollar value right now in this farm, and it's totally liquid. We could take it out at any time. And we're earning reward token from EMP, which in the case of EMP, it's called eShare. So right now, currently, we're earning about $250 a day in pure profit per reward token from these farms in EMP. Now, we're not compounding this profit. We're taking it out every day, and we're stacking it up to where then we inject it back into the pot to continue to pay out rewards. So we have this going on right now, but we also have the power of this money behind us that we could use if we needed to, but we haven't needed to, and we're nowhere near that yet. And then we have also some investments in their daily ROI contracts, Detonator and Reactor. Then I also mentioned that we're in Elephant Money, and we have a pretty substantial investment, mostly again in two of their farms. Which the other thing I should mention is not only is the protocol based on BNB, but we're also exposing members through their deposits in other blue chip cryptos. Let me go back real quick and talk about this farm again. What this $145,000 represents is an LP pair that's made up of half of the native EMP token and half of Ethereum. So $70,000+ of what we have in here is actually in Ethereum. And so we're exposing all the members to the price appreciation potential of Ethereum here in this pool as well for as long as we hold it. And then similar in Elephant Money, we're heavily invested in these two farms, the BTCB trunk farm and the ETH farm. So we have more Ethereum here and Bitcoin here. And then we also have a small savings account with them in their futures contract. And then we own 150 billion Elephant token. And so we have a pretty good position there. Overall, currently, we have about $180,000 invested in EMP. The vast majority of it is fully liquid, 150,000+ of it. And then in Elephant, we have about 65, and almost all of it is liquid. There as well. Now, I mentioned we're taking rewards on a daily basis. We do that at EMP with their eShare token, and in Elephant, their reward token is called Trunk, if you're not familiar. So we're taking both of those on a daily basis, and we are converting them into a safe pair here. This is a USDT BUSD thing that we're making a little interest on it, and then we just stack it up here. and hold on to it until we need it. So that way, when we need to inject more funds into the pot to pay rewards, it comes from here and we don't touch our primary investments. We also have a float right now of about $70,000 in just liquid BNB that's just sitting in the wallet. So we're pretty flush at this point. And we, speaking of making injections back into the pot, right now our goal is to try and become as self-sufficient as possible. And we're well on our way to that. And because of the way the mechanics of all of this, of course we need to bring in new people into the protocol, but we aren't dependent upon that, right? Like a lot of projects with native tokens where they need that churn and they need to get more people buying. We're not concerned about that because the BNB takes care of itself. So as long as the protocol is earning enough through its investments to pay the rewards that are owed to its members, then we are fairly self-sufficient, and we're getting there. This is a growth thing. Right now, we are burning through about a burn rate of about 25 to 35 BNB a week. And that will go up over time. And we're currently earning about half of that through our investments. So we're about halfway to complete equilibrium, if you will, there. So that's what we're shooting for. But we have plenty of assets on hand in the interim to more than take care of all of our members and paying out rewards. So if you look at the contract, I'm going to switch over real quick to the actual dApp and show you what it looks like. This is our website with our dApp. Basically what goes on here, this is an actual live wallet that's got about 5 BNB in it, give or take. And so what's happening is it's just very common, what you might be used to, is earning out rewards. Our contract works on a weekly basis, not a daily basis. So that's one mechanic that's different. So what does that mean? That means you're on a 168-hour cycle, which is 1 week, instead of every day. So every week, the contract will unlock when this timer gets out to the end, and then you will have access to the full week's earnings. You still earn daily, but you can't access it until every 7 days. And then you can decide what you want to do with it. You can either take it out, cash out, or you can let it ride, which is what we call compounding. And then at that point, you can also add an additional deposit if you want to put more into the contract. You can't even deposit in the contract during the week that you're waiting, won't let you. So you do all of that, then you hit the buttons, and then you're all set for another week and you come back. So low touch, you're only interacting with the contract once a week. It's also an excellent tool. It's proven out to be an excellent tool for keeping things slow and steady and stable. There's no way to soft FUD this project and get people to panic, or because also we don't have a native token, so there's no worry about that. So it's very good for anti-whale mechanics and things along those lines. Now, we also have some mechanics that keep things low and slow, and those include in a wallet, the max BNB that you can take out per week is 2 BNB max per week, and then the max that you can put into a wallet is 20 BNB, and we have a 3x max on a wallet. So that means that the max you could put in a wallet is 20 BNB. You can take out up to 2 BNB a week until you reach 3x whatever you have put in. So if you put in the max 20, then that makes the max 60 coming on the outside, on the withdrawal side. If I scroll down a little bit here and show you, we also are very transparent about what we're doing. All the things that I'm explaining to you all today, you can see right on the website. Some of this information is live from the contract. The bank information is updated every day, usually. But so you can see exactly where the funds are and what they're doing. And we also share a lot of information in our Telegram and other ways. So basically what happens is we go through these week cycles. So currently we have about 250 BNB in the pot that's locked and paying out rewards to everybody who claims. And then we have another 882 BNB and all of this various stuff and liquid, all the things that I've explained to you which is what's represented over here on this side called the bank. And then every week on Fridays, so tomorrow, we will inject what we've saved up back into the pot to keep it floating at a high level. We don't really need 250 BNB in the pot, but people are more comfortable when the balance is a little bit higher, so we keep it in this range. So as you can see here, tomorrow we're scheduled to, so far, invest back in 24.37 BNB. That'll go right back into the pot tomorrow, and it'll probably be a little higher by the time we get to tomorrow. So you can always be checking out what's going on, where we're at. It shows you who's holding what NFTs in our project. And I would note that, as you can see then here, combination, that's a little over 1,100 BNB total in the protocol, which is almost exactly what we started with, meaning the very highest point we reached on our launch second day before we started paying out rewards was about 1,100 BNB. So that's bullish because we've been able to pay out rewards now consistently for 2 months, and we still have as much or even a little bit more than we have ever had. So we aren't draining the contract in any way. We're staying even to even growing the contract through the fact that we have external revenue sources. So then the last thing here that I'll show you on the website is this is where I mentioned before that you can mint your membership key cards. You just simply click on which one of these that you would like, go to the mint page. It will open up another page. You connect your wallet to it, and then you're ready to go. You're off to the races. And you just hit mint MKC, you pay the 0.25 BNB, and that's it. It'll mint it and put it in your wallet. Same thing with the gold membership. If you want to get a cocktail NFT to go with your membership that we were talking about, remember I said that while you can always mint a membership through us, the cocktails sell out when they have a live mint, and right now we don't have any available for live mint. So you would go and look on NF Trade, and it's actually very simple if you haven't bought an NFT before. So you would look, so let's just say we're going to be on the silver collection, and we decide to get a silver MKC card. And so that gives us a total of 0.5 right now just with that. So then we want to say, well, what can I boost it to? Well, if I go for the Bloody Mary, that's another 0.5 boost. So that's 1% a day total. That sounds pretty good. What's that going to cost me? So you can just click on it and you can look at the market. And this is what it looks like. Our partner, as I mentioned earlier, is NF Trade. And of course, you can buy NFTs on any number of secondary markets. However, we have partnered with NF Trade, and they go out and they verify all of our contracts, and they verify that these NFTs are real. And that's why you get the blue verified check on the whole collection as well as every NFT. So if you buy one from NF Trade, you can rest assured that it's an actual real NFT from our protocol and you're not getting scammed. So then what you do is you basically look. The floor price, if you're not familiar with that terminology, that's the cheapest price currently is so 0.5, half a BNB is the current price for one of these. So that's what you would pay. And then you can go back and forth and look at different cocktails. So for instance, you say, okay, I can get 0.5 for 0.5 BNB. What if I go up another one to Pina Colada? 0.65. Okay, that jumps all the way up to 8. And these numbers change, by the way, based on what people are willing to sell these things for. And you can also, if you haven't done NFTs before, you could go in and look at this one and you can make a counter offer if you want to try to get it for a little less. So there's some gamification to the way that this is all working. So that's how you would get your cocktail to go with your membership key card. So to wrap it up, basically everything that we've done in an attempt to maintain stability and sustainability in the contract, which for an ROI type of contract, that's the challenge, right? How long can we make this last? How many people can we get to ROI and beyond? So all of the mechanics that I've explained to you today are in service of that goal. So as I mentioned, no native token, very important. We have what I consider to be real world daily boosts. Like I said, the max in our protocol is 1.5. Not everybody is getting that. If you go back, you can see here in the stats, right now on average, people are getting just a shade over 1%. So some people are below 1.5 and some people have 1.5. So it averages out to that right now. But you can go up to 1.5. No daily compounding, no hyper compounding like you see in a lot of protocols that are either miners or ROIs, when they have these native tokens that get up and you can just like compound like crazy. And ultimately that's going to end. And so what we have is weekly contract interaction that I explained so that you're not hyper compounding. I explained the levels that we have. We have the weekly max of 2 BNB and the max wallet controls of 20 BNB in, 60 BNB out. Also, we changed a lot of things about a lot of these type of contracts in our referral program. I'm not saying anything negative about influencers, but a lot of programs work where they'll find a popular influencer who has a big audience and he'll do a video and everybody will ape in and use his referral code. And then he will then have all this token and then he'll hyper compound if it's that kind of contract and then dump, right? Fair game. Everything in DeFi is fair, but we just didn't want to do it that way because we wanted the people who have skin in the game of the contract to get the most rewards. So we only offer a very modest referral program of a TVL bonus of 5% of your referrer's first deposit. So it's basically, generally it's not friendlier to those types of people who are doing that type of marketing. But that's by design. And then again, we have our robust revenue streams of EMP, Elephant Money, and also our NFTs. So this is basically the protocol. I know it's a lot to take in fairly quickly, but it really is pretty easy once you get into it. And so that's the pitch. So I'm more than happy to take yours or anybody's questions or talk about anything you might want to.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I just there were a couple times I thought about cutting in just to ask questions, but I figured I'd let you go ahead and get through it.
Yeah, no worries.
But all right, so starting off, so they are depositing BNB, and that is locked. All right, so you cannot withdraw that BNB.
Right, it's an ROI contract, so you're earning rewards on the locked TVL.
Right. Okay. So I just want to clarify that for everybody. The NFTs, offer, let's just call it, like staking weight. You're getting extra return faster. You're getting your return faster.
Correct.
What is the minimum that somebody can put in the pot?
Effectively, if you're a guest, which again, we don't have anybody doing that, but if you're a guest, it's 0.1 BNB. If you have a membership keycard NFT, there is no limit or minimum.
Okay. Now, you said that there's a max, 20 BNB max, and the most that they can pull back out is 60 BNB. So they're getting a 200% return on their investment. Now, once that's done, is that wallet just kind of burnt, or do they have to switch to a new wallet to drop that 20 BNB back in? And
yes,
can
yes.
Can the NFTs carry over? Do they send those NFTs to that wallet too?
Right. Yes to both. Once the wallet has reached 60 BNB, that's quote unquote dead. But the membership key card NFT and the cocktail NFT are both sellable, obviously, as we looked at the secondary market, and transferable. So if you wanted to start another wallet, you would just move your NFTs to that wallet and then start over.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then, yeah, the maxes work that way. So if you had, for instance, which we have several people doing this, if you had a wallet that was maxed out, meaning you put in 20 BNB and then you had the full 1.5%. Now, this doesn't include like the small taxes that we have, but just basically you would ROI in 10 weeks. So 10 times 2 BNB is the max. And then you would max out in 30 weeks.
Okay. So then, after that, you've got your 60 BNB out. Now, if they do have, well, they deposited the max, so they can't, redeposit their weekly rewards. They just have to hold that, or, maybe buy some extra NFTs and take that first 20 B and start another one.
Yeah, we have a lot of people. About 8% of our wallets currently are max wallets, and so in that sense, yes, you're depositing, and then at that point, all you're doing is claiming. You're not compounding because there's no point in compounding. So,
Right.
yeah, so you're absolutely right. So then they'll work a secondary wallet or something along those lines, or just run the one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I wouldn't see anything stopping me from, starting another wallet, as soon as I started claiming on the first one. Um,
Right, exactly.
you know, um, do you ever plan on having a cap on the amount of people that can invest in this? Because you said you're not. Are you growing these investments that you have coming in for reward? So are you
Yeah,
growing the investments into EMP and
yes, we have grown the investments substantially over the few months that we've been doing this and continue to do so. It's a really good question. I don't get it asked very much. But we do have a mechanism in the contract that will allow us to stop taking new investors without affecting the actions of the investors currently in the protocol. So you can still do all your things. And we haven't activated that, but we do have the capability of doing that. And would we do it? Yeah, we might. I mean, there are certain scenarios where we might do that, but we aren't really close to that right now. This is not, obviously, it's not a huge contract. We don't have millions of dollars. We have about $500,000 in there. And that's fine with me. The thing is because of the mechanics of this, right? It's scalable. We're doing well and successful with about 350 investors. And if that's as big as we ever got, well, that's fine. Right now the numbers work at that scale. We aren't, and the less we have to, basically, need new investment, the fewer amounts of new dollars that we require to keep paying out rewards, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So it's not that we don't want new people in the protocol. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, that we're trying to make it not this case where it's just frantic search for new revenue from investors,
yeah, yeah, definitely. I think you have actually 357 to be exact.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah. Investors. Yeah.
coming off
Yeah.
of coming off of your 357 wallets, and obviously a lot of
Correct.
people have multi wallets. So
Right.
um,
So we have a
kind of
lot of
pulls
room for
that off.
growth. Yeah, we have a lot of room for growth, right? I mean, we're a new protocol. That's one of the things that that I have to talk about in these AMAs is a lot of people go, "Oh, you're an ROI contract." Well, yeah, we are by definition. And then they'll ask, "Well, you've been up for 2 months. Am I too late to get in?" And that's just sort of a hangover from the different ones that are the minor contracts and the daily ROI hyper compounding contracts. And we're just something very different than that. So it's like, no, you're not in late. In fact, like I mentioned at the beginning, we have as much assets as we've ever had. So no, you're not late. But it's educating people that this is a little different, and you're not coming in and getting, because of the way we're generating revenues, it's not like you're coming in and the people who came in before you are taking advantage of that, and then you're left holding the bill kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, once these, the cocktails are all minted out, so as the investors grow, you get more investors, you get more memberships, um, and say, they sell out. There's none on the secondary market. Do you ever plan on having another mint for these cocktails?
Absolutely. We'd love to do another mint. But the thing is that what we have to balance here is the benefits to our existing members who have already invested in this. So it's a kind of a juggling act to say, okay, well, because we don't want to compete. I don't want the Treasury competing by generating new mints all the time we want to see the secondary market succeed. And we want to see people to be able to get some return on their money for their investment on their NFT if they want to leave the project, or perhaps they bought more than they needed, which a lot of people did in the pre-sale. And so they're actually, making money offset reselling the NFTs. So it's balancing that out against the needs of the protocol, because it is one way that we make revenues. So yes, we will do another mint. It's just we're trying to time it in a way that it's also fair to the secondary market.
Yeah. And well, speaking of the secondary market, let's talk about, say, the pina coladas are, the highest valued the cocktails. So, say I go on the secondary market and I just sweep the floor. I just buy them all.
Yeah.
And then I just jack the floor price up to, whatever the floor price, 0.8 right now, and I just jack it up to say 5 BNB.
Yeah.
That's like you said, that's all fair and game, fair game in DeFi. And
it is, but you would risk that there's a reward potential there, but you'd be risking a lot too, because first of all, by the way, we sweep the floor on a fairly regular basis and burn NFTs to also put pressure on the total supply. But if you did that as an outside person, then the thing that you would be worried about is if we decided to do another mint.
Another mint, yeah.
Because we don't.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
That's why I asked if you were ever planning on doing another mint, because
Yeah.
I was hearing an opportunity there for a second. But.
Yeah. And we may do one anyway, but we're always paying attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm still kind of kicking myself in the ass, man, because I could have had. I did have a whitelist. I did have a whitelist to get. Yes, I had a whitelist to get a cocktail in pre-sale.
Well, yeah, like for instance. Oh, yeah. When we did the pre-sale, so actually the old fashioned is the largest boosted one. So right now its floor price is 2 BNB. For this one, this is the full 1% bonus. So, but you can go down and right now the best deal is, like I mentioned earlier, is in the gold series. This is the silver series, is a gold one with the mojito cocktail. That's the cheapest for the most boost. So but there was definitely a lot in the pre-sale, there was a lot of speculation buying. Of most of these NFTs are people who bought them during the pre-sale. Yeah,
and they are, they bought more than one, and
you
can only use one at a time. So
right,
unless you're planning on using multiple wallets,
correct,
and multiple memberships. Okay,
correct.
All right, so we know why you chose EMP. Because obviously you've been very, very close with that project since before all this, and it's got some stable returns. Half of the value of that LP pair is in the native token. So,
right,
it still is again, it's still crypto and it's still volatile. So, what happens if it just has a major dump?
Right. Well, I mean, what I like to say about the EMP investment in particular is this. First of all, the EMP token, without getting all inside baseball about this, the EMP token is a pegged token, and what it is pegged to is Ethereum. So the price appreciation and depreciation of the asset is somewhat tied to the price of Ethereum by design. And so that takes a little bit of the pressure off of the token because it's kind of it's a little bit like a Satoshi, but to Ethereum. So if EMP took a dump, especially from where it is now, which it's down quite a bit, like the entire market is, I would think that the market in general would be having a much bigger problem. I don't see anything in the near term that I could see. I don't have special information or insider information on EMP,
Mhm.
but from everything I know about it, I'm very involved in it. Actually, everything is incredibly bullish. They're about to launch a whole new aspect to their protocol. They're also very involved with the L1X team and their new blockchain. So there's a lot of really bullish things going on. But I want to try to answer your question. If in fact the token started really dumping for some reason, for X reason, we do have, of course, because it is completely liquid, we would be able to get out of it. Now we might take a loss potentially, but again, it's hedged by the fact that half of it is in Ethereum, and so at the very least, when we broke that pair, we would have a substantial amount in actual Ethereum. So as unlikely as I see that being, we can get out. Again, very little of our assets in EMP are locked. So
Right.
we could move out of the protocol today if we wanted to.
Okay. Now, you did bring up a good point. So the token itself and Ethereum itself is, they're both down a lot since it is bear market still. So the bull market comes around, and the contract is designed to only pay out a certain percentage, no matter what, to the investors weekly. So if this thing starts pumping, you've got a lot of extra uh, leftover revenue coming back, and so is that just going to go into the treasury, or are you going to be looking at other investments to try and grow this even farther? But at the same time, if you grow it farther, you've got more money coming in, but only a set amount going out. You get what I'm saying? So this treasury is going to get huge.
Yeah, I do get what you're saying, and a little quick shout out to you. You're asking very savvy questions that I hardly ever get asked. Just
Thanks.
just FYI. Um, so yeah, the potential of our treasury, and that's one of the things that we're trying to achieve, right? Is to sustain through the remainder of this bear market, however long it may last. Because if we see any sort of turnaround of any substance, you're absolutely right. I mean, as just an example for people listening, right now, EMP price point is 16, 17 cents. This time last year, which wasn't like a huge bull market at this point last year, it was around 80 cents this time last year. So if we have any rebound, if we see Ethereum go up to 2,500 again, something like that, and we get back up to 50 cents even on EMP, just that alone, the vast majority of the EMP that we hold was purchased around 8 cents. And we have over 500,000 EMP. That's just that one token. Same thing holds true for Elephant and some of the other things we're into. So yes, what you're asking is right. The potential for the price appreciation in the market overall could have huge impact on our treasury. What are we going to do with that if that happens? Well, we could do a number of things. We could just continue to grow the treasury, as you suggest, and just become that much more sustainable for the people who are in. We could potentially allow for the daily APRs to go up higher beyond the 1.5. That's another option that we could look at. We could also look at the potential of shutting it down in terms of new investors and simply paying everybody off their max. That would be another possibility, and maybe we start another protocol from there. Who knows? So we have a lot of opportunities if that scenario comes to pass. That will be highly beneficial. I would imagine we wouldn't do that last one, but you never know.
Well, I would think actually opening it up to more investors to thin out, to
Yeah,
spread out the rewards. You're bringing new investors in, and you can look at other investment vehicles that you could, start capitalizing on, and still bring more investors in. This
yeah.
way, you've got plenty of of money in the pot to pay these rewards weekly.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
why
and we're
not bring in more people and pay more people?
right. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to give you all the
Yeah.
possible scenarios, and we do other things. Like we did a analysis of the pot, and we are always trying to innovate. And so we did let's see. I'm going to show you this. Where can I get to this? Here, hold on a second. I have to go. Hold on one second. We are also innovating and doing other things with the contract that are fun. Like we just did we did this series that's outside the contract, but called the Double Barrel. And so what this is a series of NFTs. There were three of them. A barrel 100 cost $100, a 250 cost $250, and a 500 cost $500. And what these NFTs are doing, and the reason the name of Double Barrel is that they are doubling in value in 90 days. So if you bought 100 in 90 days, the treasury will buy it back for 200. And we also guaranteed ROI, meaning we will pay you back what you paid regardless. We had set that money aside. And this sold, it was an experiment we did. We were trying to limit it to about $10,000 total in. But it was so popular and it happened so fast, within about 30 seconds, it sold out.
I mean, it's a guaranteed. It's a guaranteed.
Yeah.
100% profit. So
yeah, in 90 days, and so we also are doing things like this when we feel like the Treasury is not going to lose on this. I don't believe, but even if we did, we have it set aside. And so we're always trying to innovate and give things to our members that isn't directly changing the dynamics of the contract, but doing other things kind of outside and around the contract to give people other opportunities that then are still feeding the main contract. I mean, we're taking these revenues and putting them back into the contract, of course. So you're actually trying to help your own. And this is going to be fun. This hasn't even officially launched yet. We sold it out really quickly, which we weren't necessarily expecting. But so it starts on May 1st. So it goes May 1st to August 1st is the payout date. And so what's going to be really fun, I don't know, do you remember the show Deal or No Deal? Do you remember that show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to be doing things like that, where we're going to come in and go at a certain period of time. We're going to offer to buy back these, but at a reduced price, but you're out faster. So like somebody has actually already put one up that they'd sell this 500. So that's a value of $1,000 potentially if we pay it all the way out. So they're saying, hey, I'll sell this to you for 2.35, which is around 800, 7 something. So I'll make a profit on the 500 I put in, and you'll still be able to get the difference between what you pay me and the 1,000. So it's going to be interesting as we go through this, because the Treasury is going to have fun with it and make offers to people where, they win, but to the Treasury, because we've had to account as if we're paying the full amount. So if we end up paying less, that's a win to the Treasury.
Oh yeah. And you said, you just said, so you don't think the Treasury is going to lose on this. So
no.
The money went into the Treasury, and that is being, how are you growing that Treasury without actually, investing it in anything? I know we spoke about this the other day.
Well, and that's where I mentioned that we are starting to move into other protocols, and we knew that we were going to do this. And so we have been working in the background. People knew that we were involved with it, but we have been making some investments into Wolf Capital. I don't know if you're familiar, but and are seeing very solid returns and really liking what they're doing. And so we've already created a small bank on the side for this project based on rewards that we're earning on Wolf, which is way more than we're getting out of EMP and Elephant Money. So it's a little bit more speculative, but we're not doing it with the main revenue. We just have earned enough in rewards to cover. And so we are earning 1.5% daily on that. So that's where this particular program now, the rest of the income that was taken in from the
Mm-hmm.
sale, those NFTs, has now gone in to boost that account, which then will earn rewards. It's a locked account, but it's only locked for 60 days. So then we'll have access to all the earnings, and we will be able to get our initial investment back as well. So we're doing creative things like that in a small level. Like, again, the whole exposure and this whole entire thing is 20 grand. So not something that if something did go wrong somehow, if Wolf rugged or something, I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did, it wouldn't crash the entire protocol, and it's outside of the protocol's main treasury. So we're doing things like that. But if it wins, then the treasury wins and everybody else wins too.
Okay. Awesome. I do have, I got another question. So can somebody say, they start off with a silver membership and, a low grade cocktail.
Uh-huh.
Could they could they change it? Could they change it to a gold membership and a higher grade cocktail and, without having to withdraw? So they get some rewards in, and then they buy,
Yeah.
a different NFT off the market.
Yeah, you can do that. You would have to physically move the NFTs out of the wallet and move in the new NFTs. But your main account and your locked deposit would still be the same, and it would just be instantly changed to whatever NFTs are in the wallet currently.
Okay.
And likewise, you could stay with let's say you were in the gold program and you got the lowest one in that, which is the Long Island iced tea. And then over time, you took some of your rewards and said, okay, I'm going to buy the highest one, which is the mojito. Then you could just move the Long Island iced tea out and have the mojito come in, but still keep the key card, the membership key card. And then you could put your Long Island iced tea up for sale on the secondary market and get a little bit of it back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or, do the same thing in another wallet.
That too.
Start the second one.
Yeah, all of the above.
There's always ways to compound, man. You can do it in another wallet. So let's see. Oh, yeah. So when do you think on the original investments, in EMP and Elephant Money, when do you think you will be in net profit? Like, how long do you think it'll be until you are in net profit? 100%, everything is paid off. You've got your original investments back. You got your initials back. When do you think you'll be in net profit?
Well, that's a tough question in the sense that, I think we already are, because, like, if you take EMP as an example, the vast majority, like I said, the vast majority of the EMP that we purchased, or for the farms, the LP pairs that we made, the EMP token itself was somewhere around 8 cents on average. And we bought a ton of Ethereum back when, I don't know if you remember when the whole Silicon Valley Bank thing happened. Ethereum took a dip to...
No, I don't remember that.
Took a dip to like 1,500 or something. I don't remember the exact numbers. And our treasury loaded up on Ethereum at that point. And, and so we've been using that Ethereum to pair with our EMP. So right now, all of that $148,000 or $145,000, there's a ton of profit in that number. And that's completely liquid. So we're earning $250 a day on top of that coming out of the protocol. So we're not in any sort of loss position with that one that I can really articulate. If anything, we're ahead both on rewards earned as well as price appreciation. So we're killing it with that. Elephant, not as quite as much, but our position there isn't as big. But the price of Elephant's native token hasn't really moved much, and neither has Trunk. So we're earning daily rewards in the farms that we have, and that's great. But we haven't really seen any price appreciation. But the other thing that's cool about Elephant Money farms, and the reason I was convinced to put a fair amount into them, is that and you may know this, but in case other people don't, the way the elephant money farms work is unique. You don't create an LP pair. You still put half of trunk to match the whatever amount of BTC, B, or ETH you're putting in, but they keep them in two separate places. So there's no potential for impermanent loss. So that's kind of a cool mechanic that they have.
Yeah. No, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're earning trunk token there. We're probably just about even on when we came into Elephant, but we have earned the trunk token this whole time.
Okay. And so do you just take these rewards from those protocols and sell them daily?
Yes, every day. We take the rewards out every day, and we convert them to BNB, and we put them in a savings, basically. And that's when we're building up. That's where you see the injection amount. We throw it into that pot so that we're constantly injecting once a week new funds into the pot, and recycling and building that back up so it's sustainable.
Okay. And obviously, like you said, it's only about $250 a day, so it's not a whole bunch of sell pressure on their chart. Or do you sell it on like a centralized exchange, or do you just sell it right directly on?
Oh, well, that's the other cool thing. The way the EMP ecosystem works, the eShare token is the token that you are meant to sell. So there's no negative impact. Selling the native EMP token provides negative impact, but the eShare reward token is specifically for that. So you can sell it and not feel bad about hurting the protocol.
Okay. And how is that sustainable? If nobody's buying it, and it's just being sold, how is that sustainable in their ecosystem?
Well, great question. People are buying the token itself because it appreciates in a number of ways. It's kind of like, it's a very low. I think there's only 27,000 of them, I think, or something like that. But then they're going to do a halvening. It used to be, because actually, EMP is technically a seniorage project. So it used to be that you would take your eShare and you would plop it in their boardroom and you would earn more EMP token. But that hasn't been running because of the economics of the market right now. The token is under peg, so they're not paying. So right now, the price of eShare is radically down from where it was. When I first got into the protocol and was, working at the very beginning, eShare was like, I think $2,000 or $3,000, and now it's like 150 or something. So it's substantially down, but that's all market based. So, but we own a ton of eShare too. So this new Fusion, EMP Fusion, is going to launch, I don't know, any day. I don't have any inside information on that, but that is going to re-energize the entire protocol. And anybody that's sitting on any EMP or eShare is going to do really well in their new setup. And of course, Speakeasy is very well positioned and is going to benefit greatly from what they're holding. So I'm very excited. And I mean, literally, that's going to happen in the next 30 days. So, I mean, it's right around the corner.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. It sounds like, sounds like you've got these all worked out. Do you have anything, I know you said, what was it? Wolf Capital that you guys are getting.
Oh, other things that we're into. Yeah. We started
things that you're looking at. Things that you're looking at in the future.
Yeah. We're really conservative about this. And, the thing that I liked about Wolf in particular was that, just like us, it doesn't have a native token. That's USDC in and out in their protocol. And they are doing really well. And I feel like, I feel totally comfortable that they're not going anywhere in the next 60 days, which is the window we have to be concerned with because we're locked for 60 days. But but beyond that, well, so we started out very small. We put a couple $1,000s in, and then we've grown it up now to, I don't know. I think total about 25,000 is in Wolf right now. We also made an investment into, oh gosh, the name is escaping me. Hold on here. Flex IRA. Let's see here. I can share that with you. This is a private investment right now. It hasn't gone public, but it's a USDT, and they're earning through trading. And so we have put 10,000 into this. It's returning right now about 0.5 a day. So there's a couple that we've looked at and a couple that we put a small amount into, and we're just sort of watching and seeing how they go. Based on some research. So those are the only other protocols currently that we're in. So we're in Wolf and the Flex IRA in a very small way, but the vast majority of the funds are still in EMP and Elephant.
Okay. Awesome. And you like you said, you've got, a substantial amount of a position for that next leg up that's supposed to be coming for EMP. Do you plan on liquidating some of that position when it does do that, or are you just gonna kind of hold on to it and wait?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm gonna certainly wait to see how it impacts the overall pricing of the tokens in the protocol. It might be that we break some of the LP, keeping the EMP for use in Fusion, and then just taking the Ethereum back into the protocol, or maybe investing it somewhere else. That's possible. But it wouldn't be all of it. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I think, before it does have a big run, breaking some of that LP so you're not getting the impermanent loss on the token itself, or even breaking the LP and holding it back until a higher market cap, a higher price, and then re-injecting the LP.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm in the camp. I am sort of an ETH maxi. I kind of came up more involved with the ETH token than Bitcoin, but and I mean everybody has their own theories and stuff, but I just feel very strongly that we're going to see 2,500 to 3,000 ETH this year. I think towards the end of the year, and that's not overly crazy. I mean, that's not even an all-time high. And if we can do that, we're going to be really successful at just those levels. I mean, we're at 1,900 right now. So, it's not going to take a lot, to have a significant impact on our particular protocol anyway. So, I just think, if you're not high on Ethereum, what are you doing in DeFi?
So with, being an ETH maxi, what made you decide to do this in BNB?
Well, it's on the BNB chain. That's So right. It's just easy to develop. EMP is on Binance Smart Chain. All of those reasons. But I mean, it's the same Ethereum.
EMP is on Binance, but it's the liquidity pairs. Why is it liquidity pair on ETH?
Yeah, well, it's just Binance ETH. I mean.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's BEP.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. I think
Hey, we built this up to 91 people.
Yeah, it was just 93 a second ago. So
nice. I hadn't looked since it was like 15. So I'm like,
yeah, it was. I think some AMAs ended.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know if you do. Do you do audience questions or anything like that in this, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I was gonna open it up Anybody out here have any questions? Ken, I know you might have some. Ken, are you still listening?
Man, I wish I am literally bouncing to like 15 things. From what I have heard, I really like it. I like the treasury concept. I like the fact, you brought up EMP money. That's a long lasting project that, has really good eyes on it. So it's a project that I think long term will definitely do well for you guys. I mean, like you said, with the bear market and things like that, a lot of projects get hurt, but that's definitely a long-term project in my eyes. So I think that that's a smarter thing. And like you said, loading up on a lot of ETH at 1,500, that's really good for your treasury as well, especially for a long-term project, knowing that, once we do get into more of a bull run, you'll be looking at least a $4,000 ETH. So yeah, a lot of things that I did here that I do like, but I wasn't able to listen really, really in depth, because I am bouncing around doing a lot of different things right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank you for at least listening to some of it. You can listen to the recording later. Um, it is pretty bullish. I just yeah, I think there's definitely room to grow though. I definitely think there's room to grow to add more people, maybe even more pools. Maybe another second pot.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that, it seems like we timed this project pretty well, by which I mean, I think maybe we started this and came in at the bottom. Because this launched at the beginning of March. And, so everything that we've been purchasing just in price appreciation perspective, has already done pretty well. And we're not
yeah.
by any means, killing it. But, I mean, I think B&B was like, on the day we launched, B&B was like 278. And it's like 330 now. Of course it can go back down in a heartbeat, but overall it seems to be trending in the right direction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you thought about maybe opening? So this one's kind of more of like a stable pool, stable rewards, guaranteed rewards. Have you thought about opening another pool that's a little more risky, a little more speculative?
Yeah. Well, what we have done
With
is we also,
with higher returns.
yeah, what
Higher
we have,
returns are just based off of what comes in.
yeah, we created a thing right after we launched that we called the back room. So it's kind of playing off of the whole speakeasy idea, and it represents about 10% of our investors. So 40 or 50 investors are in it, and it's intended to do just that. What we're doing is providing what we call opportunities for people that are in the back room to look at. You don't have to participate if you don't want to. And we've done a couple of programs so far. We've done some, partnerships with other tokens and NFT sales. And we even did one where, the treasury bought a Max wallet and put in the NFT, so there's no in cost, and you could just buy a slice of one of our Max wallets through the back room. And so we've done some, we've now got people doing that themselves. But yeah, so the back room's going to have opportunities to partner with the treasury on some of these outside investments that we're looking at and doing over time. So that's kind of going to play that role. So yes, we have thought about it.
Awesome. Yeah, because I think a lot of people, wouldn't mind taking some of their rewards and putting into something, a little more speculative for some higher returns, or maybe even no returns. You never know; you might get rugged.
Yeah, well, we thought about but we thought about like what you said too. I think it's a kind of an interesting idea of setting up another pool and basically just doing the same thing that we're doing right now, with, instead of capping it at 1.5, which we feel is sustainable, going up a little higher, but it's a separate pool, separate risk reward ratio. That's an interesting idea.
Awesome. Yeah, sometimes I have brain fart here or there, and some good
No,
comes out of it. Yeah, man, I think we've covered it all though.
great.
Hey,
Yeah, it
Papa,
was
you mind if I throw one out? Excuse
Yeah,
me,
go for
sorry.
it, man.
Hey, man, I missed a part of it, so it might have been talked about, but because I kind of got through it to the mid. I've been driving from LA back to Sacramento. It's been a hell of a drive, but I just want to figure out on the reward at the end of like the lockup. Am I able to get my initials back out? Because a lot of these other miners, they kind of just absorb your initials basically, and then they become theirs. So I didn't know if you had it to where you either at the end of the lockup you got it, or you were just so satisfied with your rewards that it didn't even matter. I didn't know how. Like you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
figured this out.
We're definitely not a minor, but your initial deposits and any redeposits that you make also are locked. So what you're really it's a 3x max return, so you're getting it back plus 2x more, right? So 200% more
Okay,
plus.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Okay. So it's just a purely ROI, and at the end you're going to be satisfied regardless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
how it works. Okay.
yeah. You just can't. Yeah, you just can't take it out in a lump sum.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that was it. Must have missed that little bit of part, but it looks interesting. I like it, and I like how you're doing an ROI that rewards truly holy instead of saying, "Oh, I got it done for rewards." No, this is like you keep up your rewards because your rewards ain't gonna affect it in the end, and you still get your ROI at the very end. So I like it. It's very interesting, and I love the partnership with MP, like the last fella talked about. MP is a strong base team right there. They've been around for a while.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, for AJ Brockman and the whole team over there are I mean, they're just amazing. I mean,
Yeah, they're gold standard right there, man. Those guys
yeah,
are fucking transparent as hell.
yeah, they're great. They're great. So I'm happy to
Well,
be
guys, you guys are gonna
washing in
make
there.
me go ape some EMP. Give me FOMO over here.
Oh, hey
You should
man,
just check out their ecosystem and follow on like any new things that they're gonna do, because like everything that they launch is gold, and it's always taken care of. None of their community members ever complaining. Like I noticed that their community is always bullish as hell. It's pretty crazy.
yeah, it's a great organization, and AJ's personal story is amazing. I don't know if anybody who doesn't know him,
I know him. I've
yeah.
watched his AMAs and I've watched his YouTube and stuff. Like he's very smart, and to have what happened to him and then still be the type of guy he is and what he does, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's been a quadriplegic since I think the age of 2. And his attitude towards life and the way he approaches business and everything, it's just really inspiring. The guy is just, I could do a whole AMA on how great that guy is. So I feel very proud to call him a mentor for sure.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. I'm gonna have to get over there. So, drop me the links and everything so I can get over there and check it out.
Yeah, in fact, their AMAs are on Monday and Thursday, so they have an AMA in a couple of hours.
All right, yeah. Shit, drop the link in chat so everybody else can go check it out and see.
I will.
See what they will be, basically investing into Speakeasy.
Oh, you know what? That's a great point. Let me make it really quick. I forgot that one. That's the other thing that's kind of cool about what we're doing, I think, is that if you're the type of person that likes these type of protocols like EMP, like Elephant, but you don't necessarily have the time and or patience to learn all the things that you need to know to actually operate within the system, that's another great reason or a potentially great reason to be in a protocol like Speakeasy, because we're basically doing all that work for you, right? So you're getting exposure to these protocols, and they're being run the correct way, the way that they're supposed to be run, just by having a position in Speakeasy, because we're very transparent about where that money is going, and the vast majority of it is going to those two protocols. And they both, I think with the exception of maybe Drip. I mean, I think Drip just had its 2-year anniversary or something like that. I'm not really involved in the Drip community too much, but I think Elephant has been around as long as that, and EMP is like 1.5 years now. So So they've been, I mean, in DeFi terms, they've been around forever.
Yeah. I just saw somebody enter the room that is definitely big on the ROI stuff. Mark. I don't know if you know anything about Speakeasy or EMP, but if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. I know you just got here, so you might not have any questions.
He's typing something, I think.
Oh. Okay. Get a damn microphone, sir. You want to borrow some money? I'm just playing. He's got plenty. All right. So yeah, I think that was what your last statement, man, was definitely good call to action right there. So unless you have any other final closing statements, or does anybody else have any other questions? I think we've covered it all.
Yeah, no, man, I'm good. I would just say I'm going to drop in. I don't know if I can put a link in your chat, but if not, I'll send. Okay. I'll drop a link to our link tree, which has all of our stuff in it.
On the post.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, just come on over, check it out. If you have any questions, I'm in our Telegram like all the time. If I'm not there, our moderators, we call them bartenders. Our bartenders will be there to answer questions, and it's pretty straightforward. So we'd love to see you over there.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely. I'm so spread out, man. So thin. I barely have time to check in on a lot of chats, but I will be checking in on the D app to claim my rewards.
Very cool.
That's the main thing. That's the main thing, and that's one thing. Without having the token, I just want to touch on that. You don't have to constantly have hype in the chat. You can have people in there just talking about daily stuff because they are literally just investing and pulling rewards weekly. That's it.
Yeah, that's
they
right.
Don't have to worry about a chart. They don't have to worry about a token. Yeah. They don't have to worry about going out and raiding every day. It's not a meme token. So
it always makes me laugh when somebody new comes into the chat and they type /chart and nothing happens.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, no, we don't have that.
So give them the Bitcoin chart. Give them the Bitcoin chart. Or B&B. Give them the B&B chart.
You're right. It is super chill. There's not a lot of drama to it. It's intentionally low, slow. That's the thing. And I always say to people, it's like I have DJ plays in my bag too, but that's not what this is. This is just low, slow, good earning. We're trying to do the best we can to make it sustainable. It's not sexy, high APRs or anything like that, but hopefully we can make it last. And, if that is something you are interested in having in the mix of everything you're doing in DeFi, then it might be worth taking a look at.
Now, would you say, honestly, I know you get a higher return or a faster return if you were to do the math at 20 BNB. But if you were to split that up into 10 wallets and over a longer period of time, you would get a much larger return, with the max being 60 BNB per wallet. If people wanted to think about it that way. If people want to think about it that way.
I mean, yeah, really the big determiner is what NFTs do you have in the wallet more than how much you have in it. It's those NFTs, because like I said at the top, what you're buying there is time. So it doesn't matter if you have 1 BNB in there or 20, you're still going to get, in the case of 1, you're still going to get 3 BNB back faster if you have 1.5 than if you have 0.5. So,
right.
It's just a different way of looking at it. It's not, the percentages aren't equated to money. They're equated to time.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, if you were to, just do something like that and, you're just using it for passive income, that could last you a couple of years. you're getting 60 B&B. You're getting 600. Yeah, 600 B&B back
Yeah.
instead of just 60. But, you're getting that 600 B&B, and it slows it down to where you get into the bull market, and those B&B are worth $600 a piece instead.
Right.
So, hey, these are the type of things I think about. All right, guys.
Thanks.
I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and end this. Just one last closing statement from you, if you want, and we can wrap it up.
I'm good to go. I see a lot of questions are being asked in the Speakeasy channel by people that were listening to this, so I'm going to go over there and try to answer some.
Oh yeah, I just had you bombarded. My bad.
No worries. That's why we do this.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you again for coming to Astronaut Lounge. This has been Poppa Stonks and Kirk. He is the CEO of Speakeasy, the head bartender. Everybody go check him out. Hit the socials. I dropped the link tree in chat. Please, everybody, check that out. And Kirk, please drop those EMP links in the chat too.
We'll do it.
All right. And